Hello. Happy Self-Care Sunday and good morning. Let me see if I just get this a little better. What would I do? Situated. Okay, there we go. Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome to part two of Mindful Eating. And for those of you who don't know me, this might be your first time popping on here or seeing a video. Every Sunday I go live and I talk about deep level self-care practices. I have 12 different practices that I teach about, and um, eating food to heal your body is one of them. And part of that is mindful eating. And so this is the second part. So you can find the first part on this page, or on either one of these pages, or also on my YouTube channel. So check it out. You could watch them in any order. The order doesn't really matter. So you could watch this one and then go back and watch part one. So, like I said, for those of you who don't know me, I am a holistic health coach, a certified professional life coach, and a certified culinary nutrition educator. And I focus mainly on plant-based whole food diets. And so, even if you're not plant-based whole food, mindful eating is completely separate from that. So, um, I do part four of the mindful eating series is a little bit about eating plant based, but it's also about eating organic and going in that direction, sort of. So I don't really talk about plant based until part four. So if you're slightly interested in adding plant-based options into your life, then stick around and watch all the parts. Eventually, I'm going to turn this into a workshop and be selling it on my website. It's not going to be live. It's going to be like in a slideshow kind of a form, and there's going to be a workbook included with it, so it'll be a little different, but the same kind of topics will be covered. So today's going to be quick. Most of the lessons will be pretty quick, and I'll give you some action steps that you can take away with you so that you can get started. So, what's so important about mindful eating? And the way that I think about it is a lot of us are very busy in our lives and we spend a lot of time, like almost like unconsciously eating, so we're not even thinking about it. I found that I did this mostly when my kids were little because you're really just like a lot of times eating on the go. And so, and a lot of moms can like appreciate this where you're eating all the food that your kid like leaves on the plate. So you're just not even like sitting down to a dinner. You're like, okay, chicken nugget here and a little macaroni and cheese here and a half of a granola bar here, and you don't even know what the hell you're eating. So I totally get that. So mindful eating is really kind of almost like slowing things down a little bit and saying, wait, what should I focus on and how can I eat more mindfully and almost like intuitively, which intuitive eating is like a whole nother masterclass. So while it may sound like I'm kind of like nitpicking things down, this isn't something that you need like to really consciously think about forever. It's almost like about creating new habits and like keeping the ones that really feel aligned with you and keeping them in your lives and doing them to a point where it becomes a habit because you enjoy it so much. Um, and like I talked about last week, just like chewing your food and slowing it down a little bit can really incredibly help your digestion and maybe reduce like gas and bloating and stuff like that. So when you can give yourself like some relief from something that maybe you didn't even know you were causing in the first place, and it's such a simple thing to do, it's an easy habit to stick to. So that's what I mean, what's aligned with you. So you keep what's aligned with you, what's going to help you, and then leave the rest behind and try to focus on those habits. So keep that in mind. I don't tell you all these different action steps to expect you to add 20 different action steps as new habits in your life, which would be kind of difficult. I think you should really grab onto one or two and see what you can add to your life and what you need to help you feel better. This is about feeling better. Mindful eating can help you lose weight. It can give you more energy. There's a lot of things. If you're struggling with digestion, sometimes that can really suck the energy out of you also. So when you improve these different things and you can absorb the nutrients of your food better and you're eating better food and you're relaxing when you're eating so your digesting is working better, then you have more energy. So it's like all these things that you can fix with like these small little tweaks in your life. Okay. So I'm going to get started. If you have any questions, I will put a link where you could set up like a free chat with me so you could ask questions. I do this complimentary to everybody at least once. And then if you're interested in coaching, I could do that also. And on that phone call, you could ask. But the phone call is not a sales pitch. It's really a free call for you to ask any questions. But if you want to continue working with me, then I can give you a link to sign up for coaching. But also, you could post questions in the comments below if you don't want to set up a call, and I will answer them at some point. So let's get started. Okay, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you could do the same thing. You can post the questions below or set up a call with me, and I'd be glad to talk with you. So this week, we're going to be covering a couple of different things. Let's see, we have 3 different topics, and this is kind of a good one. And I talked about this first one, a little bit last week. So it's about getting into a good energy state. I'm going to try to put my notes in front of me so I don't have to keep turning my head. Getting into a good energy state before you eat. Okay, I'm like terrible at reading notes and trying to like focus on the person in front of me at the same time. So I apologize for that. Hopefully I can get better at that as I do it more. Um, so I did talk about this. So like when you're eating and you're in a rush and your body is in that fight or flight, so you're like that, your body automatically shuts down your digestion. Okay? So getting yourself into a calmer state before you eat is really important for your digestion. And that affects, like I said, it affects, you know, you could get bloated from that. You could have all different types of digestive issues, and you could have a lack of energy. And the lack of energy could also come from being in the state of fight or flight all the time, also. So there's just like all these things that run in together. Okay, and you could do this with some really simple practices. Um, and like I said, use what works for you, and what doesn't, just leave it behind. Okay, now this could also be a little hard when you're eating with a bunch of other people. Say you have a couple of kids and you have your significant other, and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Like you're acting so weird, you know?" But after a while, I think some of these practices could really be beneficial, and it's a great thing to teach your kids to do this, and it could be beneficial to everybody. So try to stick with that. Um, So the first thing I would say is the easiest thing too. So you could do this at work, you could do this without anybody in your household even knowing about it, is do some deep breathing exercises before you're going to actually sit down and eat. Okay. So we're also going to talk about the environment too. I probably should have did that first, but I'm just gonna go with where I started. So you just taking a few deep breaths, and to explain how this works, it'll really stress the importance of how you do your deep breathing exercises. So we have this nerve called the vagus nerve, and it goes all the way from like down here by your belly all the way up into your brain, and it runs along the line of your diaphragm. Okay, and so when you take a deep breath and you expand your diaphragm, and that's why when you're doing like any type of breathing exercises or yoga, meditation with breathing, that's why they tell you to expand your belly. What they really want you to do is expand your diaphragm, okay, and stimulate that vagus nerve, which then stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. It helps you relax. So it gets you out of fight or flight, and it gets you into rest and digest, what we call it. So your body is ready to digest your food. Okay? So that's why deep breathing works. And that's also why deep breathing helps calm you down, reduce stress and anxiety. It's all the same reasons. Scientifically proven. Okay? So what I would do, what works for me, is breathing in for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and you can even hold at the bottom for 4. Okay, and then if you can expand that out to 5, that's even better. So breathe in for 4, and then hold at the top for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold at the bottom for 4. Okay, and just do this 4 times. So just think 4, 4, 4. Okay, 4, 4, 4, 4, whatever. Okay, and so that's the first step that you could do. The second one is sit down while you're eating. Try not to eat over the sink or while you're doing other tasks. And I know sometimes this is completely impossible. When this is completely impossible, do the deep breathing, okay? But trying to just make an environment um, a habit of doing the same thing every time you eat, it's a cue, okay? It's an anchor for your body to know, oh, we're eating now, okay? Every time she does this, this is what this means we're going to eat. So you could even go as far as, okay, I'm going to sit at the table, I'm going to get a nice plate out, I'm going to light a candle, or I'm always going to have flowers at the table, whatever it is that works for you. I have nice napkins. I do stuff like this. Do I always do this? No, but if you could do it for like one meal out of the day or a couple of meals a week, it could make the difference. Okay. Um, so eating when you're driving, I understand why people do this. I completely get it. I was a single mom with 3 kids that sold real estate for a long time. So yeah, I understand why people do this. But like I said, get in that calm state. Take a few deep breaths. Put something good on the radio. Listen to your favorite podcast. Just really chill, okay? Same thing at work. If you're gonna eat while you work, get into a good state. Okay? If you can't get into a good state because of the state of your work, then get up and walk for a minute or so down the hall, or even if you can go outside, even better, expose yourself to sunlight, and then come back in and then eat. Even if you're still going to eat while you work, just try to break up that fight or flight state. Okay? Make your eating event, make it special whatever you can. I'm going to talk about this in one of the next tips. Okay, so that was number one, getting into a good energy state before you eat. Okay, number two, use your senses to enjoy your food more. Okay, now this sounds super duper cheesy, but this really helps you be mindful about your food, and there's one important reason for this, and I will get to it. So when you use this, I want you to sit down and take time to really focus on the food you're eating. And a great way to do this while continuing in your calm state is to go through each of your senses, which when you go through your senses, you really bring yourself back into your body. So your head isn't like thinking about, oh, I got to do this work, or I got to do this for my kids, or like you get out of that stress loop and you bring yourself back into your body because you're like, what does my food look like? Okay, and it could look like shit. I don't know, but hopefully it doesn't. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Just get back into your body and be really chill. Pay attention how the food makes you feel. Now this is a key thing. So a lot of us don't do this, and this is kind of goes into intuitive eating. So a lot of us have food sensitivities, but we don't even realize it because we're eating in such a rush that we don't even know what is really doing it to us. So really paying attention to how the food makes you feel after you eat it. Okay, so does it make you feel energized, tired, full, satisfied, upset stomach? Pay attention because if you take note every time you eat a meal, and like most of us are only eating like 3 meals a day. We do eat snacks. We do have different drinks that we drink, some of us, but really all you have to do is take a few seconds and be after you eat something and be like, oh, I don't feel good. Every time I eat fried food, I don't feel good. I feel like it tastes really good going down, but it makes me nauseous. It upsets my stomach because I don't eat fried food a lot. So when I do, I get really nauseous. It makes me not feel good. So it's very easy for me to notice that. And I know that if I'm going to commit to eating fried food, I'm going to feel like shit. So does this make me feel satisfied? So you just ate a candy bar and you're like, it was really enjoyable going down, but I just had a Snickers bar and in about 20 minutes, I just had a sugar high. I'm going to kind of go down low and I'm not going to be satisfied. Tired. So that might be the same thing connected to like the Snickers bar. So I had the Snickers bar. It doesn't have a lot of fiber. It doesn't have a lot of protein. Those are the things that keep your blood sugar level um, normal. It has a lot of sugar, so you're going to go up and then you're going to crash and you're going to feel tired. But it's going to be a little bit later. You might not connect it right away, but that's why you're tired. So when you eat something really sugary that doesn't have a lot of nutrition, it doesn't have the protein, the the fat or the fiber, healthy fat. I mean, the Snicker bars at least has the peanuts, but it doesn't have that healthy fat or the fiber. a lot of it. So it's not going to keep that blood sugar stable. All right. So an apple has the nutrients, it has the fiber, it doesn't have protein, but if you eat an apple with a little bit of peanut butter, or you just take almonds in an apple, I used to do that all the time, then you have all the things that will keep your blood sugar level so you don't have that dive. Okay, so I'm going off topic. So that's why that's important. So be mindful about the way your food makes you feel. And if you notice something, you notice a pattern, like write it down. Like what I do when I notice something and I want to be reminded of it later is I text it to myself. I don't have a piece of paper or I put it in my notes on my phone. If you're a person that uses your notes a lot, I use my notes thing on my phone all the time. So I always know to go there. If I'm like, oh, I remember I wrote something down. Where did I write it? It's probably in notes because that's what I use. Or I texted it to myself, which I have tons of notes on my phone that I texted to myself. So do what works for you. But the texting thing is really good too, because if you don't look at it right away, it shows that you have a message, and I just leave it there and I don't open it so that I know to look at it later. Maybe write it down someplace important where I'll notice it. Okay, now we're going to go into number 3. This is the social aspect of eating. So this is what really you could set a really good anchor um, for your body to know when you're going to sit down to eat, so your body automatically starts getting ready to digest. Okay, so like think of your meal as a siesta in Italy, and I think this is so cool. So I remember watching the Michael Moore movie. I think it's called Who Should We Invade Next? And so he goes to all these different countries and he shows you all these really cool things about these countries that they do that we don't do in America, but a lot of them were like American ideas or whatever. So it's very interesting. But one of the things they show is everything like shuts down in Italy. Now I've never been to Italy, so I don't know how accurate this is. But like factories, they shut down for like 2 hours. Everybody goes home and has like this huge meal and they drink wine and stuff. And I'm like, yes, I want to do that. Not to mention that they get so much paid time off. They get an extra, an extra week of pay during the holiday, like all this crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. So anyway, a siesta like that. So now, yes, we don't do this in America, unfortunately. And no, I think if you went to your boss and said, I need 2 hours, I'm going to go home and drink some wine with my family, they'd be like, you've lost your mind. So we could like make a little makeshift siesta or maybe do this once a week on like a Sunday when if you have off or whatever your day off is. Um, or make it a little mini siesta, meaning when you're eating, just be eating, okay? Don't even think about multitasking. Like, just be eating. Turn it into social time. Have a meal with a friend or a family member. Eat with somebody at work. Make your surroundings nice. Use the good china. Get fancy napkins. Light a candle. Have some flowers on the table. Put some relaxing music on. Shut off the TV. The music is great. Make your meals part like make your meals ritual with the tips that I just gave you. So make this a little ritual. Like even if it's okay, yeah, not everybody's gonna have fresh flowers all year round unless you're buying them for yourself, which I think I highly recommend doing that. I shop at Aldi's and they have little bouquets of flowers for like $5. Might as well buy one every time, right? Um, they're probably $10 now because everything is doubled. I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'll let you know. Um, But if you have gardens, you can pick flowers outside. So, like, there's certain things that certain people will be tuned to. So, the flower thing is definitely one of mine. In the spring, like, I always have fresh flowers in the house. And I like to use the nice fancy napkins. I do use my good china. I keep it out all the time. I don't always shut the TV off. Sometimes I watch like a TED Talk. If I'm with somebody, I'm not going to have the TV on. And maybe I would put music on, but if I'm by myself, sometimes I watch a TED Talk or something like that. Something that I'm going to enjoy, or you could even read or whatever. But like, just try to stay focused on what you're doing and be in a relaxed state. Take into consideration the other members of your family. Like, so this might be really hard for them to warm up to it, but you could make it fun. You could explain the tradition of the siesta in Italy, and it could be something to like maybe enjoy once a week with your family where you just shut everything down for 2 hours and all the phones go off and everybody just gets together and you share a meal. And I'm not saying to give wine to your kids, but you could, I guess. And never mind, erase that. I don't want to promote that. Um, no, but some like a little family time, little siesta from all the hustle and bustle and the busyness would be a really good habit to start at least once a week. And I think that would be a really easy thing to do. Um, so those are all your action steps. All right, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. So it's like getting in a good energy state. So we talked about breathing. Sit down while you're eating. Don't eat in like a rushed state, and make your eating event special when you can. Okay, like I just talked about. Then using your senses. So what does it look like, smell like, taste like, feel like, to bring yourself back into your body and pay attention to how the food makes you feel. That's very important, especially if you're having digestive issues, especially if you're having trouble losing weight and you think you might be maybe like eating your feelings or something like that. Does it make you feel energized, tired, full, satisfied, um, or do you still feel hungry? Now, will we go? The last thing is the social aspect. So um, just be eating when you're eating, turn it into social time, make your surroundings nice, make your meals a ritual with your family, and take into consideration that this might take some time with your family. So those are all the action steps. Like maybe just pick one to do this week, um, and then go, if you didn't watch Mindful Eating Part 1, go back and watch that and see what resonates with you with that one. Next week we'll be talking about, I don't know, I don't have the form with me, I can't remember, so I'm sorry. But we'll have a part 3 and a part 4, and I hope you join me for those. I hope this was helpful to you. Like I said, if you have any questions, you could post them below, or I'll also post a link where you could set up a call if you're interested in talking to me about this more. Okay, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. It was nice spending time with you, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye. I have to move this. Hold on. Bye. All right, and then bye to you guys.